Today I've been challenged by Destination DC to bring you guys along for my best day in DC under $50. There are truly so many things you can do in DC with that budget. So to help narrow down a little bit, we're gonna be sticking to the Adams Morgan neighborhood. If you watched my apartment tour, you might remember that I said that my apartment was in between 2 or 3 neighborhoods, and Adams Morgan is one of those. So a lot of these places are my go-tos on the weekends or after work. They really are incredible businesses and have some incredible people behind them. So I'm super excited to bring you guys along. This is Adams Morgan, also controversially referred to as ADMO. This loved neighborhood is located in the northwest quadrant of Washington, D.C., known to many for the popular intersection of 18th and Columbia Road. Also worth noting, home of Dance Cafe. Adams Morgan really has it all, from live music and a vibrant nightlife scene to classic row homes and coffee shops to work at the next morning. Adams Morgan truly has something to offer for everybody and has quickly become one of my favorite neighborhoods to explore. First on the agenda is coffee. This is one of my favorite spots in the city, but I don't think I've talked about it on YouTube, only TikTok, so I'm really excited to bring you guys along. This is Soleil Luna, located at 18th and Columbia Road. It's best known for their homemade pastries and 350 lattes. They roast Ecuadorian coffee and make their own syrups, which are super yummy, but the homemade pastries are the real star of the show in my opinion. I've tried a few now, but the chocolate croissant is still my favorite. If you can, I would try to go earlier in the morning to get the best selection of pastries. They do refill them throughout the day, but they do sell out. This is also going to be your best chance at seating. It is pretty limited, but they did a really good job for how small of a space they're in. I love the interior. I think they did a great job designing the place. It's moody and airy at the same time. In DC, being able to get a pastry flavored latte with milk of choice and still being able to tip for under $10 is a steal in my opinion. Now that we're caffeinated, we are gonna head over to one of my favorite bookstores in the city, which is right across the street. Lost City Books has been a neighborhood staple since 1981. Something about this bookstore is so comforting to me. It's multiple stories and has every genre of book you could ever hope for. One of my favorite things they do is they have their staff leave these little post-it notes all over the store with their recommendations, thoughts, and opinions on books, and it makes the entire process feel so much more personal. I walked around for quite a bit, but I ended up picking up this book called How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. You guys know I have a habit of overcommitting and overworking myself, so I thought this could be a really good fit for me. Maybe everybody knows this, but I didn't until somewhat recently, but if you take your receipt from Lost City to Andy's, you can redeem it for a free slice of pizza. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I have never turned down a slice of Andy's pizza. I think Andy's is the best pizza in DC, but if you don't want to take my word for it, they also won the International Pizza Challenge in 2021. I know we're on a budget, so if you can only get one slice, the cheese is a classic. But if you're willing to splurge, I have truly loved every slice I've had here. I will say the mushroom and onion has a special place in my heart though. Next, we're slowing things down a little bit. I am right outside of Malcolm X Park or Meridian Hill. Sorry if the traffic's really loud. This is technically in Columbia Heights, but some of the entrances are in ADMO, so I'm counting it. But it's not only a park, but it's a National Historic Landmark, which I feel like is one of the coolest parts of living in DC, is having so many historic sites just embedded in your everyday routines. So I brought a little picnic blanket, and I think I'm just gonna set up and read my book for a little bit. Came home for a second to change before happy hour, and I had a couple of emails I needed to send and wanted to make a snack. but it's like 4 p.m. now. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video that I live within walking distance to all of this, but if you don't, DC has some of the most underutilized transportation in my opinion, especially when you look to other cities like New York or London. Both our metro and bus systems are really efficient and they're clean and they're affordable. So if you haven't branched out to try those, I'd really recommend it, especially if you're trying to stay in that under $50 budget. Adding $2 on the bus or $2 on the metro is definitely doable. I pretty often use the app City Mapper. They have a few different cities, but it's really great for finding different routes or methods of transportation to use. I found this app when I was studying abroad in London and still use it in DC all the time. Even though I've lived here for close to 5 years, there's still a million bus routes I haven't taken, or you know, connections on the metro that I'm not aware about. So I feel like it's really helpful for me at least. So I wanted to mention that because I feel like public transportation in DC is often underutilized and such a sustainable and affordable way to get around. As far as what's next though, we are going to one of my favorite bars in DC. It's called the Green Zone, again in Adams Morgan. This was one of the harder parts of the itinerary for me to narrow down because I feel like there are so many good bars up and down that strip, but I think this might actually be my top bar in DC. It is hard to narrow down, and if you can't get a reservation there, like I said, there's a million other bars on that strip that are also incredible, but I'm really excited to bring you guys along. Green Zone is a Middle Eastern bar located right at the corner of 18th and Colorama Road. If you want to eat outside in the streetery, I would try to make a reservation a day or two in advance. If not though, I've always been able to find a spot at the bar. Everything I've had here has been so incredibly delicious, but my go-tos are the frozen mint lemonade with vodka and the labneh. The bartenders here are so much fun, the ambiance is incredible, and me and my friends cannot get enough of these frozen mint lemonades. So to do a quick daily budget recap, this morning's coffee and pastry from Soleil Luna was $8.80. The book from Lost City was $16.15. Both the slice from Andy's Pizza and going to the park were $0.00. And lastly, happy hour at Green Zone came to $26 each, making our grand total for the day $50.95. We are back home now. It was absolutely delicious, which I expected obviously, but I wanted to take a second to talk to you guys a little bit more about Destination DC. They're the ones behind this video concept, and they didn't ask me to share any of this. I just wanted to because I think they do really great work, and they were one of the first accounts I followed when I first moved to DC, so this has been a very full circle cool opportunity for me. Editing Amy here, I wanted to clarify quickly. So Destination DC is their more all-encompassing industry-facing brand, and Visit Washington DC is their leisure brand, who are the ones behind this campaign and what you're seeing on screen. Their website is filled with tons of recommendations, neighborhood overviews, and deals, so I'll leave that linked down below, or you can check it out at www.washington.org. Destination DC is the official destination marketing organization for the nation's capital. They work with over 1,000 businesses and organizations in DC to help support them and generate economic development for the city. This has been one of my favorite videos to film, and I feel so lucky that I get to work with them on my channel to show you guys around DC. If you want to see more, let me know. I have 1,000,001 ideas for this series and would love to continue it throughout the next couple of months. So leave a comment with any neighborhood recommendations or anything else you want to see. I think that that's everything for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to make sure to leave links to Destination DC and all of the businesses if they have any socials down below as well. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.